Hi there, this is a quick tutorial in 20XX of Trackit that shows you the process of creating a purchase order for let's say a laptop, and then running discovery and then tying those together. Quite often people say, well, I'm just buying some new kit, I want to put it out on the network to discover and then to audit it. What is the best way, the best practice to do that in the new version of Trackit? So just hopefully going to take you through this now. And in the very first instance, you need to go into the purchasing module. So if I click on the hamburger and go to purchasing, it's from here where I'm going to, in the first instance, create a new purchase order. So I'm just going to give it some dummy information. I'll order that for today. I'll do that for Joe user. I won't populate any of the other stuff here, but we'll click on save there. So we've got our purchase order. Oh, I've got an existing one, so let me try add in a few more digits. Okay. Next step now is then to select the items for the purchase order. So I will just search my product name. So we'll select a Dell computer, again, fictional 12345. Give some extra data in there. We'll just order the one. It's taxable, and click on save. Okay, so now we have our purchase order, the item we're going to purchase. Once this has been received, you simply click on the icon toolbar, receive. Now you can batch order and you can receive in batches, as you can see there. So there's only one to order. I'm just going to click one to receive. And then the other thing that's quite key here is this create assets. If I don't enable that, then it's not going to create anything in my inventory. So I'm going to select that for create asset. And then I've done everything I need to on the purchasing side. And then I can go into the asset management module, and I can take a look for this asset. So the quickest way to probably do that is to do a search. And I'm going to hazard a guess, it is the last one here. As we can see, we've got our financial information that's been brought over from the purchasing. So I've got the purchaser number, the vendor, when it was purchased, and I can carry on populating all that other stuff. Now this is the important part, because when you go out to do the discovery on that asset, it needs a way to tie that to the existing asset management record. So it does that by a unique identifier, which is the asset name. So at this point, I'm going to rename the asset, and I'm going to rename it to TI client 1. Click on save. Just make sure nothing is already there. TN client 1, okay. So that may have already done an audit there in the background, but there's my TN client 1. So I'm just going to save that off. Review the asset information. You can see there's nothing there to date. So I will then go into the configuration, go to asset management, let's run the discovery, scan that now. At this point it's going to do a scan of the network with what I've configured there, and hopefully at this point it's going to discover the asset. So while that's taking place, I'm just going to pause that rather than wait around. Okay, I've given the discovery around 5 to 10 minutes now, so hopefully that's all take place. We can just reference that with the BCM console. So if I just jump into there and look at the asset discovery, we can see the discovered assets that have been picked up, and there's been a couple found on this discovery date. So hopefully they will make their way into Trackit. And the way we do that is if we jump out of that discovery and go to asset synchronization, I can force a manual sync. Obviously this will schedule, and hopefully that's pulling all that information from BCM into Trackit. And then once that's completed, we shall have an update down here where it will tell us what's been found since the previous sync. Okay, that's completed. No new assets found. It's updated some assets, and I'm guessing why it hasn't found them, because they already exist in our inventory records. So we go back into the asset management, go to workstation. There we are. We've got our client management discovery. We'll double click into here. There's our purchase order information, and you can see that the discovery has pulled in the information from that asset. And if I go to view details, there's all the hardware information. No data to display in the software. Security information I'm pulled in there, but we've got the financial information. So you can see it's just at the discovery level. That's all it needs to do to tie that asset. If I want to capture some more information about that device, I can then push out the agent to that machine and then perform an audit. Now there's a couple of ways we can do that. We can do it manually, or if I click on the audit now as well, that will send that to a machine, run an audit, and then capture some additional information about that device. So apologies, a bit of a gap in between recording, but when we done the discovery, obviously it picked up the machine, put the hardware information, and that was just from the discovery. Next part then was to push out the client or the agents onto that machine, where we've done an audit now. So that's obviously took place. If we go back into the configuration, we can see that the updated assets have now increased. And then if we go to the assets again, you'll also notice from the ID details where it was unconnected, it's now connected as a client in that topology. And if we go to the asset details, hopefully that should all have come across now. So we can see the last audit date. So not only do we see the hardware information, we should also see the software, and of course all the security stuff, and then the financial information that came over from the initial purchase. And then just to verify, as I said, this comes over from the client management console. So earlier we saw from the discovered devices there were 2 discovered here. It's no longer in the asset discovery, so it should be part of the topology. And there we are, we can see the connected device. It's green, so that means it's on the network. And if we expand down from the server, there's our client machine. Click on the inventory and look at the status. Now we can see the software has come across, so you can see a difference there of 8 minutes. And then hardware information, software information, security, and obviously any compliance that you want to set up should you purchase additional licensing for client management. So that's just a quick overview of how to tie a purchase from your purchasing module into your asset management, and then do the discovery in your network and ensure that the asset name is the same as the discovered device in order to make that connection. That is the unique identifier. And then, as I say, if you follow that process, then you should not have any duplicates. You won't have separate discovered assets, separate records for the purchasing, and as I said, that should be the cleanest approach in order to bring your purchases and tie them to assets on the network. So first of all, add the purchase order, move it to an asset, go into the asset, change the name to match the laptop, PC or server, run the discovery, picks it up, ties it in, and then, as I say, if you then deploy the agent, whether that's automated or manually, that will then gather the additional information such as software, and it will allow you to do things like audit on demand. So if I do an audit now, that's doing a real-time audit, or if I wanted to click on the remote control, that would then allow me to remote control onto the device. So I hope this has been a useful tutorial for you. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.